It's me, your friend Jar, and welcome to my vlog. So for today's video, I will be your teacher presenting my chosen topic. But before we are going to start, I have a pictures here and I want you to give a guess what will be our topic for today. Yes, you're right. Our topic for today is all about climate change or the impacts of climate change. So let's start at our topic for today, which is the impact of climate change. So now let's tackle our topic for today, which is the climate change. I know that some of you here are already familiar with the term climate change. So now I am going to define what is climate change. Climate change is generally defined as a significant variation of average weather conditions, says that conditions become warmer, wetter, or drier over several decades or more, or it is systematic change in a long-term state of the atmosphere over multiple decades or longer. So that's what climate change is. So since we have already the learnings about what is climate change, let's proceed to what makes climate change. So the Earth climate influenced by many factors, mainly by the amount of the energy coming from the sun, but also by the factors such as the amount of greenhouse gases and aerosol in the atmosphere and the properties of Earth's surface, which determine how much the solar energy is retained and reflected back to space. So that's what makes climate change. With relate to climate change, the global warming. What is global warming? So global warming refers to the increase of Earth temperature as a result greenhouse gases accumulation in the atmosphere. While many climate scientists agree that humanity is responsible for vast majority of global warming. So humans are increasingly influencing the climate change and the earth temperature by burning fossil fuels, cutting down forests, and farming livestock. So this additional enormous amount of greenhouse gases to those naturally occurring in the atmosphere, increasingly the greenhouse effect and the global warming. So that's the process of why there is a global warming in Earth or in planet Earth. So now, let's talk about how this global warming works. So, the sun energy passes through Earth's atmosphere. So, this energy is trapped inside the Earth's atmosphere and cannot rebound back to the outer space. According to the study, that between 1958 to 2014, Philippines experienced a 0.63 degrees Celsius increase in yearly average mean temperature. So by 2015, the average global temperature had warmed by over 1 degree Celsius since pre-industrial time. So this makes 16 of the 17 warmest years on record had been in 21st century. So, 2011 to 2020 was the warmest decade recorded with a global average temperature reaching 1.1 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels in 2019. So, let's go to effects of climate change. Well, climate change has a lot of impacts to our lives. Number one is the rising of sea level. Global warming causes rise in the sea level. The increase in Earth's temperature will result to thermal expansion of seawater and melting of glaciers in a certain regions like Alaska, Antarctica, and Greenland. Third one is the changes in water supply. For the reason of higher temperature, it is expected that biological cycle will be affected, especially in changes in water supply. As it gets warmer, the amount of evaporation is expected. Thus, the higher amount of precipitation will be experienced. The fourth one is the habitat damage and species affected. Global warming also contributes to the habitat damage, thereby reducing organism population and loss of diversity. So now let's talk about the different causes of climate change. The first one is man-made causes. Humans cause climate change by releasing carbon dioxide and the other greenhouse gases into the air. Today, there is more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere than ever has been in at least the past 2 million years. So during the 20th and 21st century, the level of carbon dioxide rose of 40%. So we produce greenhouse gases in lots of different ways, such as burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, using of chlorofluorocarbons or hydrofluorocarbons, and waste burning. The second cause is the natural causes. The leading causes of climate change is human activities and the release of greenhouse gases. However, there are lots of natural causes that also lead to changes in climate system. So, natural cycles can cause climate to alternate between warming and cooling. Some of these natural causes include the continental drift. The second one is the Earth's tilt. The third one is the ocean current. The fourth one is the volcanic eruption. The fifth one is the solar variation. And the sixth one is the El Nino and La Nina. So, factors of climate change. So, let's proceed to factors of climate change. So, climate change gives impact to our living, and there are some factors of climate change, which are: one is the temperature, the second one is the rainfall, the third one is the wind, the fourth one is the humidity, the fifth one is the topography, and the sixth one is the vegetation. So there are a lot of things affected by climate change, but the evidence is irrefutable. Human activities such as burning fossil fuels and changing how we use the land is the leading causes of climate change. As we can see around, a lot of things change. From our environments affect our lives and climate. Climate change so fast because of natural and artificial causes. But we humans are responsible for this, for not being considerate to our environment. Some of us only think for own self without noticing that our actions give changes that may harm us. Climate is connected to our Mother Earth, but nowadays, people slowly destroying the nature that brings danger to our life, just like typhoons, floodings, wildfires, shortage of food and water supplies, pollution, and many more. That's why being mindful to our doings is a must. We should avoid doing things that makes climate continue increasing and changing. Now we learned something about climate, from what makes climate change, about global warming and how does it works, the effect, factors and causes of climate change. I hope you enjoyed listening to our topic for today, which is important to know. Again, thank Thank you and have a good day.